Night comes slowly to the cliffs above the sea. It doesn't arrive all at once. It appears first as a soft deepening of color along the horizon, then as a quiet shading of the houses, then as a cooler touch in the air brushing against your face. You are standing on a small terrace in Manarola, one of the villages of the Cinque Terre, watching the last traces of daylight slip away. The houses around you stack up the hillside in gentle layers: yellow, pink, orange, pale green. Their colors muted now, their edges softened by the fading light. Windows begin to glow here and there, each one a small square of warmth in the growing blue. Somewhere below, you hear the sea. Not loud, not fierce, just a steady repeating sound. As water meets rock, pauses, and pulls away again. You breathe in slowly. The air carries salt, the faint scent of vines from the terraces above, and a hint of something simple and comforting from a kitchen not far away. You start to walk. A narrow lane leads you away from the terrace, between tall houses whose walls seem almost close enough to touch with both hands. Light spills out from a doorway, then retreats as you pass, leaving you under the gentle glow of a street lamp. Your footsteps tap softly against the stone. Above you, lines of laundry hang still, no wind strong enough now to move them. The day is ending. The village is not asleep yet, but it has slowed, as if everyone has agreed to speak more quietly. You follow the lane as it bends, opening for a moment onto a small viewpoint. From here, you can see the sea more clearly. A dark, broad surface with faint ridges of movement. The last streak of color disappears from the sky, and in its place, a deeper blue takes over, smooth and wide. You rest your hands on the stone railing. The rock feels cool, solid beneath your fingers. You stay like that for a moment, letting your gaze settle on the line where water meets sky. There is nothing to decide here, nothing to compare, nothing to measure. Just the slow, repeating contact between waves and cliffs. Far below, you continue walking. Ahead of you, a gentle slope leads toward the edge of the village, where the paths begin to follow the coast. You pass a small bar with its lights dimmed, a few chairs stacked outside, the last traces of conversation fading inside. A door closes softly behind you. The sound reminds you that the day has truly ended. The path narrows, it becomes a walkway carved into the hillside with a railing on one side and houses rising on the other. You follow it as it curves, and suddenly the view opens up. Below you, the sea presses against the base of the cliffs, its surface shifting with gentle, repetitive movement. Farther out, you see a small boat light, drifting, barely moving, just rocking with the water. The village of Manarola remains behind you now, a cluster of lit windows and gentle lines, balconies and terraces arranged like steps up the hill. From this distance, the houses look almost like they are resting, settled into the rock with complete trust. You walk along the path, above the cliffs. The railing under your hand is smooth in places, cold metal that has met countless palms before yours. You can hear the waves more clearly here. They don't crash. They arrive with intention, hit the stone, and roll back with a low, continuous sound that never truly stops. The path takes you through a short tunnel cut into the rock. Inside, the air changes, cooler, slightly damp, carrying the scent of stone and sea more directly. Lights line the ceiling at intervals, small, unassuming bulbs that spread just enough brightness to show you where to place your feet. Your footsteps echo more inside the tunnel, a soft, repeating pattern. You don't hurry. You have no reason to. Each step is careful, comfortable, steady. When you emerge again, the sea is closer in your hearing, though still some distance below. The path continues, following the curve of the cliffs. You stop at a small lookout built into the rock, a simple opening with a bench and a low railing. You sit down. From here, the horizon stretches out in front of you, a wide band of dark blue meeting a slightly lighter band above it. There are a few faint lights far out on the water, but most of what you see is gentle darkness, softened by the movement of the waves. You listen. The sound is continuous, but not demanding, a mix of small breaks and flowing motion, a pattern that doesn't need your attention, but offers it something to rest on if you want to. You feel your breathing slow, without trying to change it. In, out. The air goes in cool, leaves a little warmer. Your shoulders ease, your jaw relaxes. The muscles around your eyes loosen. You sit there for a while, not counting minutes, not checking time. The night doesn't ask you to keep track. Behind you, a train passes through a tunnel somewhere higher on the cliff. You don't see it, but you hear the low, distant hum, a soft vibration that rises and falls, and then is gone again. The village exists behind you. The train lines the paths, the people finishing their evenings. But where you are right now, you are alone with the sea, and that is enough. Eventually, you stand again. You take one last look at the water from this height, not to capture it or hold it, but just to notice it as it is in this moment. Then, you follow the path, back your steps, turning toward the village lights. As you walk, you stay close to the cliffside, fingers grazing the rock. It feels steady, unmoving, something that has been here for longer than any story you could tell. The tunnel greets you again, and you pass through it, this time feeling almost as if you're being gently guided back toward the warmth of the houses. When you emerge, Manarola welcomes you with quiet light. You follow another path, now one that leads downward, closer to the small harbor. The stone underfoot shifts in texture, smooth in some places, rougher in others worn by salt and footsteps and time. You approach the waterline. Here, the sound of the waves is different. They bounce between the rocks and the harbor walls, arriving from more than one direction, overlapping each other in slow layers. You step onto a low wall near the edge of the harbor and sit down again. The dark water in front of you moves constantly, but without haste. The reflections of the village stretch across its surface. Long vertical streaks of yellow, orange, and pale white that waver with every small movement of the sea. Closer to you, the water laps against the stone, repeating the same soft motions. Forward, back. You stay here, near the edge. The air is cooler at this level, but still gentle. You can smell the sea more clearly. Clean, simple, uncomplicated. You rest your hands beside you on the stone. It is slightly damp, chilled by the air and the spray. That coolness travels into your palms, up your arms, quieting anything inside you that still felt restless. The village climbs behind you in slow layers. You don't need to turn around to know it's there. You can sense the cluster of houses, the quiet conversations still going on in a few rooms, the beds being prepared, the lights that will go out one by one. You are part of it, but also just outside of it, in a small pocket of space and sound and water. That belongs only to this hour. You close your eyes. You don't picture anything in particular. You let the sounds fill the space instead. Water against stone. A distant clink of metal from a boat. The soft brush of air over the surface of the sea. The faint hum of a refrigerator or light far behind you. The small, nearly inaudible scratch of your own clothing. When you adjust your position a little, each sound passes by without asking for attention, without needing a response. Your thoughts come and go in the same way. There is no need to chase them, no need to hold them. They can simply arrive, linger briefly, and then move on like the waves near your feet. Time is not something you need to think about here. The night has its own pace, and you are moving with it now. After a while, you open your eyes again. The houses look softer. The lights seem lower. The sky above the cliffs is darker, sprinkled with stars that have become clearer. As the last remnants of daylight vanished, you stand up slowly, feeling the gentle pull of gravity and the steadiness beneath your feet. You begin to walk back toward the inner part of the village, your steps quiet along the stone paths. The slope carries you upward now, in gradual stages. You pass by a small archway, a staircase that disappears into the shadows, a wall covered partly in vines that barely move in the calm air. A single lamp shines above a doorway, spreading a circle of light over the ground. You cross through it, and for a moment, your shadow joins you clearly, then softens again as you step beyond. You arrive once more in the narrow lane, where you started earlier in the evening. Some of the windows that were lit before are dark now. A few remain illuminated, their curtains drawn, their interior light forming a soft outline. You walk until you find a quiet corner, a small widening of the street, where a low wall meets the side of a building. You sit there. From this place, you cannot see the sea directly, but you can still hear it muffled but present. You lean your back against the wall, feel its cool support, and let your head rest gently. Your breathing is slow now. You don't need to count it, don't need to control it. It moves on its own, easy and steady. The village around you has become very still. The sounds that remain are light and far away. A door closing softly, a distant murmur, the soft pad of someone's steps disappearing down a path. You close your eyes again. Somewhere below, the waves continue to meet the cliffs. They will keep doing that through the night and long after tonight. Somewhere above, terraces hold rows of vines, resting until the sun returns. Somewhere behind you, a single lamp continues to shine over a doorway that will remain closed until morning. You here in this quiet corner of Manarola have nothing left to do. There is nowhere you need to be, except exactly where you are. There is nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to finish, nothing you need to think through. Just the slow air moving in and out of your lungs. Just the memory of the path along the cliffs. Just the faint sound of water against stone, finding its way up the hillside to reach you. You allow the heaviness in your body to increase. Bit by bit, your shoulders sink a little more. Your arms rest fully. Your legs become still and quiet. Thoughts become softer at the edges and then less frequent, like lanterns going out in the village, one by one. Night remains, sea remains, stone remains, and in the middle of all of that, you let go slowly and completely as sleep rises to meet you. On this calm, silent night, along the cliffs of the Cinque Terre. More Italian bedtime stories coming very soon. If you enjoyed this moment of calm, subscribe and like the video for more gentle storytelling.